Hello everybody, welcome back to the preview of Manchester United's must-win game against Luton away from home. Now, we're going to be diving deep into the game, giving you a preview of the game as always. Obviously, Erik ten Hag gives some quotes in his pre-match press conference. We'll be talking about that as well. Team news, formation, likely team, threats from Luton, threats from Manchester United as always, and how we can actually break down this Luton team, because Luton aren't doing bad. Yes, they are lower down in the table, but they are still a very, very tough team to go. And many teams have found it difficult away at Kenilworth Road. It's one of those tough stadiums. Luton are a team who like to stick in. They might not have the most expensive team or the best players in each position, but they certainly have threats that can cause Manchester United problems. As you've seen, many of the teams struggle. I mean, Liverpool got a draw. Manchester City had to win late on as they were losing 1-0. Arsenal got a late winner as well. So Kenilworth Road is not an easy place to go. And certainly Manchester United are going to find it difficult. It's a very hostile, kind of traditional atmosphere. And that's something Manchester United are not really used to. I think Luton do offer a lot of threats. I forgot the manager's name. Rob Edwards is a great manager. And they have been unlucky in certain games. I think they are a great team. I remember last time we played them, we only beat them by a scrappy Lindelof goal. And that game was really bad from us. So we've got to look at that game. Look at the game now. Look at the form in Manchester United are in. We've won our last few games. Villa, Wolves, West Ham. So we are in sort of decent form, and it's all about building on that momentum. And that's something Erik ten Hag talked about in his pre-match press conference. As he said, the pitch is 11v11 because he was asked about the size of Kenilworth Road. And it is one of those stadiums that does look a bit peculiar. But it's just that environment that it brings. And yeah, it's all about how Manchester United can do this. I mean, I remember last time against Luton, we did have quite a few chances, and their goalkeeper was really good. They play a 5 at the back system, a kind of free midfield. No, a 3-4-3 kind of. They like to compact, get wide, and put crosses in, and they are a really big threat. But we'll talk about Luton's threat later on. Let's talk about Manchester United now. Team news going into the game. Martin, as we know, is still out yet for another 5-6 weeks. There's been no update on him from Ten Hag as he continues his rehab process. Wan-Bissaka not quite ready yet. Malacia and Mount still quite a few weeks left. And obviously most of the other team is back. We know we got Martial still got a groin 9 week on groin injury, and it is quite worrying. We're not really. Erik ten Hag does really keep stum on his injury issues. He just gives the bare minimum, and that's something that he's always done. So we don't actually know the injury extent of Wan-Bissaka. We just know he was ill, and then he hasn't really been back since then. I think it is an injury. I don't think there's anything else in it. But yeah, that is the team news. And yeah, let's talk about how we can actually break down Luton. Now, Luton, as I said, they play a 3-4-3 or 5 at the back. And they do like to get physical. They're a team who do play some good football, and they can carve down the team. And where Manchester United most vulnerable, in my opinion, is the midfield, and that's probably where Luton are most strongest with their attacking threats as well. I think when they drive, they use Ross Barkley in that midfield as a driving force. He's very, very good technically, and he's a great player. I think he's proven for Luton to be a great player for them, and he is a huge threat in my opinion. I think the quality that he shows week in, week out, he's definitely been Luton's best player, and I think he's been really important for them. I think the way that Rob Edwards likes to play, then Manchester United need to utilise that high press that worked really, really well against Aston Villa. You've seen that clip of Ten Hag telling Delot to stick in the press, and that's something that Erik ten Hag has massively worked on. I think improving the press is so important. With pressing, you have to be organised. You can't just have a few players go and a few players stay. There's got to be a team press, and that's something that I think we did really, really well in the game against Aston Villa. The most improved game, I think. Then we pressed as a team. We did really, really well winning individual duels, and that's something, again, that we're going to have to do. Obviously, Luke Shaw may be a precaution for the game, which I did talk about yesterday, but as I said, Luke Shaw's a huge miss. On that right-hand side for Luton, it might be Ogbene, might be Townsend. They are threats. Cheze Ogbene is one of the top 3 fastest players in the Premier League, so he is really quick. Townsend as well may not be the quickest as what he used to be, but he's still got pace on him. He can put in a really good cross. And Luton's right-hand side is a real threat. With obviously Luke Shaw might not be available. If he's not available, it is a big miss, I think. his relationship down that left-hand side with all the players. He just knows that position really well. Can even fill in like left centre-back at times. So his quality is going to be missed. But without Luke Shaw being there, you've got a huge dilemma. Do you put Kambwala there? Do you put Kambwala right back, put Delo left back? Obviously, Molasse is not fit. Do you bring Lindelof in? Most likely, it's probably going to be Lindelof. And I just don't think Lindelof looked good enough. I mean, he's not even a centre-back anyway, so you can't fool him too much on that. He's a centre-back playing left-back, and he did look really uncomfortable in the Aston Villa game, and it could have caused us problems. I think we got away with it massively, and it could have been really tough. I think Manchester United, Erik ten Hag, need to do something. I mean, and you question, why did we actually send Reguilon back? I mean, yes, Reguilon wasn't good enough and he did have injury concerns, but you should have just kept him for the remainder months of the season, just to see it out. I think Reguilon did really, really well in the time that he was at Manchester United, and his presence is certainly probably being missed now, with all the injuries that we have. With obviously, even if Wan-Bissaka was fit, it'd probably be ideal because you can have Delo on the left, Wan-Bissaka on the right, but yeah, it's probably most likely going to be Lindelof at the back. I mean, we've struggled to get a settled back four for ages now. Many players have talked about, even Erik ten Hag, and that's a huge issue. When the back four is probably one of the most important combinations. When you're defending, you need that strict communication. And we've had a lot of partnerships. You've had Johnny Evans, Maguire, Varane, Kambwala, Luke Shaw's been playing centre-back, Lindelof's been playing, Martinez has been playing. So there is a lot of players there, and we just haven't got that correct fluid role yet. And that's something that we probably need to get before. But yeah, let's talk about threats of each team and then go into the predicted team news. But threats, I think Manchester United's threat is probably Højlund. I think in the last few games, he's found some goal-scoring form, has scored some great goals. I think the threat that he opposes in a game like this, I think is going to be important. His hold-up play is going to be it's not going to be the greatest games in terms of, it's going to be really physical. I think using Højlund in this game is going to be really important. Allowing him to hold up the ball, there's going to be moments where we're under pressure and we have to get out. And utilising Højlund's threat is going to be really important in a game like this. Another one for me is Harry Maguire. I think being physical is something you need in a game like this. I talk about Luton striker Adebayo. He's really, really good recently. They've got Carlton Morris up there as well. So they have got some great players. And Maguire being physical worked really, really well in the past few games. Got an assist in the game against Villa. And he's going to have to start because we're very thin at the back. So I think utilising Maguire's height in both opposition boxes, from set pieces and from crosses as well, is going to be really important to Manchester United and vital to our defensive structure. Now, the last threat I wanted to talk about for Manchester United is Scott McTominay. Whether he should start is a different question in its own. I think McTominay, he's a great player off the bench and a squad player at best for Manchester United. And he has scored, in fairness to him, some great goals and some important goals for Manchester United. And Manchester United would probably not be where they are if it wasn't for McTominay. Look, he won us 3 points against Brentford. He played a part to play in the game against Wolves. Scored 2 against Chelsea earlier in the campaign. That got us another 3 points. Scored single-handedly, got us the win against Aston Villa with a great header. So he is proven to be a threat off the bench. And that could be something Ten Hag doesn't use. I think he may start him in this game for physicality. I think Luton, as I said, they use physical players, and having tall players who are good in the box in a game like this may be something Erik ten Hag may look at and aiming for McTominay to start. I think that's something that you may see in a game like this. Now, let's talk about Luton's threats. I think Elijah Adebayo, he scored a hat-trick I think it was, I can't remember what game it was, but he scored a hat-trick for them. He's proven to score a lot of goals for them, and he is a threat. He's really good from crosses. He's really strong and physical, and he is their main goal scorer, as well as Carlton Morris, who's another threat for them, a big physical striker. And Manchester United do find it tough sometimes. I think Maguire and Varane will probably be the centre-back partnership, so hopefully they can protect us from conceding. Another threat for them, as I said, is Ross Barkley, driving the ball through midfield. I think is a huge threat for them, and the quality that he shows is fantastic. He's had it He's been great in that midfield for them, and he has scored some important goals for them. So he's someone Manchester United must look out for. Now, predicted team is Onana in goal. I think he looked well. I think his best game of the season against Aston Villa. Really proactive, really good on the ball, made some really good saves as well. Right back, another great performer, consistent now. Delo, I think he's been fantastic. Yeah. The performance that he showed, the effort, getting assists now. I think that cross was fantastic, and he is an important part of Erik ten Hag's defensive structure. Centre backs, Varane and Maguire. I think they're forming a connection. I think they do look really strong together, and they're probably the best partnership that we have. And obviously, you've got to put Lindelof at left back. I've talked about the importance of Shaw. I don't think Cambuala will probably start, and I think it will be Lindelof at left back. Hopefully, he looks more comfortable. Hopefully, that's something they would have worked on in training over the past few days. But yeah, we're going to need him really strong against Townsend or Cesare Ogbene, because he's a pacey winger. Into midfield for Manchester United, you've got Casemiro, Kobbie Mainoo. I think, as I said, every game that partnership continues to blossom. I think we can see the potential there in Kobbie and Casemiro. Both two different players, but quite similar at the same time. They have some great potential in them. Well, particularly Kobbie, who's still relatively young. I mean, Casemiro's one of the most decorated midfielders in the world. So I think that would only help Kobbie. I think in a game like this, you've got to be really aligned. I think Kobbie tends to go more higher up than Casemiro does, and that's something that we wanted to see. I think Kobbie's a great player at progressing the midfield. His passing's really good as well. And we've got to be quick on the counter against Luton. And I think Kobbie may be interested in getting the ball to players. He was involved in the goal for Mctominay, so he is proving a real threat. So yeah, it's really positive for us. Now up for, number 10, Bruno Fernandes. I think Bruno's keeping it more simple. We've seen the rash game of him trying to disappear. I think in this game you can expect a lot from Bruno. And then we expect the quality to be there. I think there's going to be moments where we get our chances, and it's all about being intricate. I think Bruno's performance has massively improved, and I think his importance to Manchester United is significant. But it's all about improving that final pass and getting the quality right. I think some of the decisions we made in the final third, especially not just from Bruno, but Bruno's been a huge part to playing that has cost us goals. It's all about making the right decision. Now up front, the same front three, Højlund on the right hand side. Højlund up front, Garnacho on the right hand side, and Rashford on the left hand side. I think that's the best attack. I think Rashford sometimes makes the wrong decisions, which massively doesn't help him. I think he normally gets past his man and then struggles to make the right decision. Garnacho is someone who's just finding his feet on that right hand side. He's having a good relationship with Delo. He's putting in good crosses, and he is showing some potential. And that's something that we want to see massively from a player like Garnacho. I think his ability that he shows at such a young age, probably wants to be playing on the left, but I think he does look really good, and there's a lot of potential from him on the right hand side. And obviously Højlund up front, I talked about utilising his strength, his pace, and getting behind Luton, and that could be something Manchester United look to explore. But yeah, that's the team: Onana, Delo, Varane, Maguire, Lindelof, Kobbie, Casemiro, Bruno, Højlund, Rashford and Garnacho. Let me know if you would make any changes. Would you bring in Eriksen? Would you bring in Mctominay? I think Mctominay may start in this game, and Kobbie, or I think Casemiro might be taken out, but it's down to Ten Hag. I think it's a huge game for Manchester United. And yeah, this is the preview. Don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. Leave your score predictions in the comments and let me know which videos you want to see coming up. But yes, leave your score predictions. Thanks for watching. That's been the preview for the game away at Luton. It's going to be a tough one, guys, but thanks for watching. Peace.